All right, so you now tune into Free in the Key podcast. Myself, Dre, Dopes, and Kay. How's everyone doing?
We good, we
All
good.
right,
All-Star
man.
weekend. All-Star
Cool.
weekend, we feeling it.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad we started an hour late. Everyone's here finally. All right, cool. So we're at the halfway point of the NBA season now. So I thought we'd just do like a little review of the season so far, talk about this weekend's All-Star game, and then just go from there basically. So obviously tomorrow night is the All-Star game. LeBron and KD are the captains. They've picked their teams. What's your thoughts?
Me going first.
Yeah.
Team LeBron all the way. I'm gonna say that. I'm say that from now on. I'm Team LeBron.
Of course.
No fanboy thing. No fanboy thing. If you look at the power of the starting five alone.
I'll just read out
deadly.
I'll just read out the starting five so everyone knows. Let me get this up. One sec. I'll just read it out. So LeBron picked Giannis, Steph, Luka, and Joker to start. And on the bench, got Jaylen Brown, Paul George, Rudy Gobert, Damian Lillard, Chris Paul, Sabonis, and Ben Simmons. And KD, well, he isn't playing. So the starting five is Bradley Beal, Joel Embiid, Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard, Jason Tatum. And on the bench, Devin Booker. Would have been AD, but he's injured. So it's James Harden, Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell, Julius Randle, and Nikola Vucevic. And Zion as well. What's your thoughts on the teams?
Well, first off the draft, I think LeBron done a great job, man. Future GM right there, future GM minute. I think KD might have been handicapped by having to pick Kyrie first out of loyalty, but he had to go with his teammate. If he was playing, it would have changed the whole vibe of that team, innit? But starting five alone, I think LeBron's definitely got it.
Okay. What's your thoughts, Kay?
Well, first up, I think LeBron's team is a good starting lineup. But obviously, I feel that LeBron picked this team, so he doesn't really have to play that much. Obviously, I don't think he was really keen on the All-Star happening. Yeah, because
you did say that.
Yeah. So you get me. So I feel like, so it's a good team. You don't really have to do anything. I believe his team should win. KD. It's just basically. No, that's all I could say. But I thought, is KD really injured, or you get me, or is he just taking a little break and that? That's what I think anyway. Yeah. Because remember, most of these men don't really want to be there.
Yeah, I can understand with this year and what's going on this year. We're traveling and the schedule's a bit different this year, isn't it? So a lot of people want to rest when they can.
At least I'm just saying what a friend told me. At least Giannis gets to win. So yeah.
You still got to play the game, innit? They still got to play the game, but it'll be interesting. Giannis thinks it's over though.
Okay. What did you think about some of the selections? Like, I know a lot was made of the two Utah guys being picked last and Paul George being left near close to the end. Like, what was your thoughts on that?
It's mind games, man. It's mind games. You got to prepare. You can't gas up your opponents too much and let them think they're too valuable in it. So you got to leave them to the end of the table. Pick them last. You don't want to pick them first, thinking that they're one of the best in the league, innit? So I thought that's what it is.
I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, man, I feel like I feel like some of these guys, they don't get enough credit and that. You get me? Like, I feel like, to me, I think that was just a boy thing with the world, with especially with Donovan Mitchell and that. You get me? I think, nah, man, I feel like, you know what? I would say this year, even though my man done all of that, so they picked them last, whatever. I just hope Utah Jazz does something crazy, man. That's it, man. Just to shut a few people up on that.
I
But
feel
I
like
think
this is.
it was a boy thing still.
I feel like this is more
No, go
motivation for Utah. Like I feel like
Mm.
Shaq disrespected Gobert and Donovan Mitchell earlier in the season. Motivation. LeBron joking about no one picks Utah is more motivation for them to just prove the doubters wrong come playoff time. In my eyes, it's a bit disrespectful. Donovan Mitchell should have been picked higher. Like
Agree.
100%. I could understand why Rudy Gobert is picked last because what can he do really? Paul
Yeah, I
George,
agree.
the other one, Paul George being picked near to the end. I feel like that's a bit disrespectful as well. He's had a good season, innit? I know that playoff disaster still looms over his head, but I feel like he's had a good enough season. He's got enough, I wouldn't say credit in the bank, but enough reps in this league that he could be picked higher in it, to be honest.
I think the playoff P nickname's going to loom more for him until he does something in the playoffs, innit? So that's what everyone's waiting for. We know he's a good player. We've seen him have good years after good years, innit? And to come back after the injuries that he had, looked like a career-ending injury, but to come back and be doing what he's doing now is special, innit? So he's undeniably one of the best talents in the league. But until he
I heard that.
does something in the playoffs, he's going to have that nickname, innit? And that rep.
But I heard that. But did he called himself Playoff P, right?
Yep.
Okay, so if you call yourself whatever, right, and you can't back what you're saying, then in my opinion, you deserve to get mocked.
That's true.
You get what I'm trying to?
That's true.
It's like LeBron saying he's the king, but then LeBron hasn't done anything to back what he's saying in it. So all I'm saying is, if you call yourself something, you have to back what you're saying.
To me, like life would be much more easier for Paul George if he just kept his mouth shut.
Exactly.
100.
Like, because we know he's a good player, innit? Like a lot of players in the past have come across roadblocks in the playoffs, innit? Like it happens, innit? But because you're out here calling yourself playoff P, you're talking like you're one of the stars in the team, but you've got to deliver in it. So when you don't deliver, you're gonna get, judged, innit? Like, so even now, like we've said in the past, like with Paul George, it's all about playoff time, innit? I don't think no one cares about really what he does in this season. He's done all right this season. He's kind of bounced back. But we know it's all about what the Clippers and what he does specifically in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree.
All right.
I agree with that.
So with the picks, I was saying earlier, because Mike Conley's been added to the All-Star team, replace what's his name? Devin Booker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anyone that should have been picked ahead of Mike Conley, or is there anyone in these teams that you think should not be an All-Star team at all?
For me, I think that's a great replacement. I'm happy to see Mike Conley finally in the All-Star game. He's been underrated. He's having a solid season this year. If you look at his numbers, I think he's averaging 16 and 5. They don't look amazing, but he's the point guard for the team with the best record in the league. So I feel like he definitely deserves consideration. I think they've done a great job with the picks this year. I think everyone that's in the game deserves to be in it. So in my eyes, there's no snubs.
Yeah, I agree with what Dope said. I think it's pretty fair to be. Yeah, I don't think anyone got snubbed or anything like that.
I don't think he should be. I don't think he should be in the All-Star team. I feel there's one. I feel there's one guy that should have been picked. I've cost this guy a lot. He plays for my team, but to me, he deserves to be an All-Star.
Oh, DeMar DeRozan.
100% deserves to be an All-Star this season. The Spurs are the only team with a winning record that doesn't have an All-Star. Like, DeRozan's been superb this season, bro. Superb. Like, and he's become a playmaker. He's hitting threes. Solid mid-range game. Always had that. To me, Mike Conley's had a good season. Don't get me wrong. Maybe should have been an All-Star in the past, but obviously the West is stacked with guards in it. But I feel like there was more deserving than Mike Conley as an All-Star replacement, to be honest.
You got argument for that. For that. But maybe.
But I'm not saying he don't deserve it. But
But I think they probably threw him in because the team that he's playing for, well, the record that they have, maybe. I don't know.
I think a huge deal that has to do with the record, innit? If you look back to when I think we talked about the Atlanta Hawks earlier, innit? And when the Atlanta Hawks had that team with no superstars, and then they became all-stars, innit? And they all play. I think they all play over the month at one stage, innit?
Yeah.
So I think it's that same thing. You got to look at the team's record.
But do you think Utah deserving of 3 All-Stars though?
I do, man, because nobody saw them coming. This is not a team that anyone thought would be top of the table. But
you know what? I think the only main person would be Donovan Mitchell. We all can agree to that. Yeah. I'm not really sure about Rudy Gobert in it. I'm not really sure about him, but he made it. So
yeah, fair play to
him. Obviously, Mike Conley, he's going, so that's good because obviously he's been playing well. But like I said, I think they just probably did it because of minus Donovan and Rudy, they just threw Mike Conley because of the record they probably had. You get me? So
and you know what? I wouldn't even doubt Rudy in it. Like, he's not the flashiest player. When you think of All-Star, you don't automatically think of Rudy Gobert, but he was my pick for Defensive Player of the Year in it, and he's doing his job in it. He's a rim protector, and he's the best, probably one of the best in the league.
Yeah, but what about Ben Simmons for Defensive Player of the Year?
Ben Simmons is a good defender, and he's a versatile defender as well. You know what? He's one of the better defenders in the league as well. But again, that team that has the best record as well, I'm sure that's gonna.
Do you think like? Do you think like? Because in the last week, Utah played 76ers and Denver, and Joker had his way with Gobert, and bruv, Embiid dropped 40 and 19 on his head, innit, as well. Like, do you think that hurts his cases for Defensive Player of the Year?
But you know what though, yeah? Let's be real, innit? In terms of Joel Embiid, I don't think Rudy Gobert can really stop. Joel Embiid can like practically do like everything offensively, and obviously Jokic, the Joker. I don't know. Maybe that hinders his chances of being Defensive Player of the Year, probably. But other than that,
I don't know if you can be Defensive Player of the Year and then your contemporaries, your guys that a fellow big man drops 40 and 19 on your head.
You see what?
That's mad, you know.
Yeah, but Joel Embiid is sick, man. He's got everything, bro.
We know, but like, say for example, an elite big man, yeah. Like, who's ever dropped 40 and 19 on Tim Duncan's head or Kevin Garnett's head? Like, I don't know if it's happened. But you know what I mean?
But you got to. That's a different era, man. You get me?
Same, if you know what I mean. Like, same big man, same type of big man, isn't it? You get what I'm saying?
I hear that. What I'm going to say, the difference is, Joel Embiid and the Joker are the two best big men in the league. Those are the two best centers in the league in my eyes, innit? I'm not putting Rudy Gobert into that same category, innit? I'm saying he's the best defensive big man. Offensive wise, those guys got skills that he doesn't. Those guys got moves that he doesn't. They
That's
got
true.
range, they got handles.
Gobert's points is from alleys and that,
Yeah.
or rubbish, putbacks and all
Garbage
of that.
points, man.
Yeah,
Putbacks. You get me? So
yeah.
they score very differently, whereas he's not a focal point of the Utah Jazz offense in the way that Joel Embiid and the Joker are. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
I get what Dre is saying. If you get me that. Well,
yeah, but
say
what I'm saying is
front runner for defensive player of the year, you can't really. You get what I'm trying to like. I get where Jay's coming from. Like you can't really allow that to happen. You get me? So
when it comes to that caliber of player, you can't really slow them down. I mean, you can't really stop them. You can slow them down. Like, ain't no way you're supposed to stop them. You know what I mean?
When you think of previous defensive players of the year, they are lockdown defenders, in it. Like, anything that comes their way ain't getting past them. Like 40 and 19s are madness still. I don't like no matter who you're playing against, that's a badness, bro. No one should be doing that.
When Mark Gasol was in his prime, he wouldn't let that happen.
Yeah, because I understand the 40, but 19 rebounds, bro. So where was Rudy Gobert from?
Rebounding is a team effort nowadays, isn't it? Everyone's got a box.
19 rebounds, though.
It looks bad, innit? I'm not gonna lie, it looks bad, innit? But for me, it wouldn't change my.
I would put Ben Simmons in there for defensive player of the year. Because like whenever he's on someone, I think he was on Kawhi the other day and shut him down completely, bro. I think he only scored a couple points against Ben Simmons. So
I just want to say this. Even though he's a bench player, Hassan Whiteside never got that from Joel Embiid. So I just want to say that.
Okay, that's fair point.
Yeah,
fair point.
but I'll go back. I'll go back to what you're saying. Ben Simmons should be the. You get me? Defensive player of the year.
Fair. Well, you know what? We looked in our box last week, innit? So I think you know a bit too late to change it, but.
No, but I said last week.
I appreciate you bringing it to me to my attention, innit?
Yeah, but I'm changing. I'm forever gonna change. So that's it. Yeah.
All right. So now we'll just get to we'll just review the whole season now. So in terms of, I want everyone to select 3 teams or players who have surprised you so far, and 3 teams or players that have let you down.
Okay, so number 1, I'm gonna say Utah Jazz.
We'll go surprise first.
All right, so my biggest surprise team is the Utah Jazz again. Like, I didn't expect it to be doing no way as good as they are right now. Because, like I said, when we look at their team, we only see one star. I mean, call that Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
The rest of the players are just playing extremely good basketball, and the way they move the ball as well is unselfish. So it's not like he hogs the ball all the time, gives everyone a chance to get involved. But the role players like Jordan Clarkson that I mentioned the other week, you could call Gobert a role player, even though you count him as one of the stars here. They just do their job, innit? So they're a big surprise for me.
Yeah, even my man had to come back in it. Favors.
Yeah,
Derek Favors.
Yeah.
They do live and die by the 3 though, Utah. Which I don't know.
That's the thing.
When it comes to playoff time and that pressure cooker where they can live up.
Big up Joe Ingles.
Joe Ingles, Bogdanovich. They got shooters, man. They got shooters.
Yeah.
Who's your second?
I think a surprise.
Go on, Kate. Go on.
Now I'm saying another surprise. One surprise for me is I'm not gonna lie, New York Knicks, man. I didn't expect them to play this good. To be fair, I thought they would have been like, the bottom of the barrel team again, as always. But yeah, they're doing well, man. To be fair, shout out to Julius Randle.
Yeah, big up Julius Randle, man. I knew he's a player that has individual talent, but I didn't know he had this leader mentality inside him, innit? And I think he's bringing that talented group, because New York's had talent, but they just haven't put it together well, innit? And playing under this guy's leadership and Tibbs, they're doing a good job.
Yeah,
And I'm happy to see Derek Rose there back in the competitive team again as well now. So I'm happy for him.
I've got Phoenix Suns, I knew they would be good. I knew they would be good this year, but I would not think they would be at the halfway point, second in the West, innit?
That's my second pick as well.
Like, they're good, like they're very good. Like they've carried everything that they've done from the bubble over to this season. And Chris Paul, he's a leader. He's a general. He's improved that team. And Jay Crowder as well.
Why do you have to mention that name,
I don't know why Miami let go of him, man. You get me? This is another guy that brings that rough tugging.
No, you know what? I think Miami.
He's an enforcer.
No, I think Miami just. I don't think they had the money to give him the money that he wanted in it. So they couldn't. It was a big loss for us. Still, I would have kept him 100%, man. But boy, man.
Versatile defender, man, can guards.
I'm hurt, man.
Forward, hit the free. He's a big piece, man, for any contending team. I think it's a shame that they had to lose Kelly Oubre on the way to this, man. I feel like Kelly Oubre on this team as well.
Because he was there when Phoenix were absolute garbage.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's the same. I would like to see him grow within that system, innit? But he's in another place now, innit?
And there's a black coach in charge. So I'm happy for them as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one team we have to shout out there is Golden State. To be fair, because I thought Golden State wouldn't even make the playoffs, but you know what? Have to give props to Steve Kerr as well, man. They're playing all right, man. So
and all the Warriors have got to big up Steph Curry, we've got to big up Draymond Green. You see Draymond Green being a leader out there and even coaching Wiseman on the court. And it's a team that we probably thought
a decent player.
With Golden
after
State,
him and Clay's been, people probably thought they were going to rebuild, but it doesn't look like they're trying to rebuild right now. They're trying to compete.
With Golden State, because it's so packed in the West, I think they are where they should be, to be honest. But it's not a lock that they'll make the playoffs, isn't it? So I'm not surprised by Golden State. I'm not disappointed, but they're just basically where they should be in it for what they have. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do make the playoffs or if they don't, because stacked in the playoffs in the West. So who's everyone's number 2 pick?
For surprises, but I would have said, I think y'all all took one of my picks in it. You said Phoenix, that would have been one of mine. Kay said, what did Kay say?
Golden State.
The Knicks. The Knicks. Yeah. So those are my big 3, man.
You got any players, do you think? Any players that have surprised you this year?
Players that have surprised me this year.
Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine hasn't surprised me, man. He's been putting up these numbers and doing bits in it. His team just hasn't been on the same level as him in it. So I'm happy to see him finally make an All-Star game, but he hasn't surprised me. I would say a player that surprised me was, I'm a Lakers fan. Maybe I watched him a bit more. But Taylor Horton-Tucker. Taylor Horton-Tucker surprised me. Last year, I didn't think he was anything special in it. He was just a guy that in our roster. He won a chip. But now, seeing him play in the off-season and then even coming into this season, it's a surprised me, man. He's talented, isn't it? And he could be a big trade bargaining piece for us, isn't it?
What? You would trade him?
I would trade him because we're trying to win now, isn't it? So if it involves us getting a piece that we really need, then yeah.
So would you trade Kuzma? Who would you rather trade, Kuzma or Tucker?
Tucker, because Kuzma's a bit more ready right now. Do you understand?
Wow.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Even though Kuzma, could be the future, but he's more ready right now.
All right. I heard that, bro. I heard that. Generally heard that. But yeah.
Any other players that surprise you?
In a good way. Again, I'll say Julius Randle, wouldn't it? I knew he was a good player. I didn't expect him to be this good. he's made All-Star game and he's leading a good Knicks team. And I didn't see that coming.
I think for me, I would say LaMelo. The reason why I say LaMelo is because I ain't gonna lie, I thought he was just gonna be just like, look, just a dead player like Lonzo and that, yeah. But you know what? He's got a lot of potential, man. He could, you get me? He could be like a good player in a couple years. But I like the way how he plays, man. He has no fear in it. Whereas Lonzo, he seems more timid than that, man. Just like, yeah. But yeah, LaMelo for me, for sure.
Well, I say with LaMelo's balling. No pun intended. I would say Lonzo is a bit more aware of his flaws in it. You know what I'm saying? Lonzo, he came into the league, knew that he couldn't shoot in it, whereas LaMelo was a kid that was shooting from the half court from high school. You know what I mean? He's always had that crazy confidence in it. I thought he'd be good in it. I always thought he'd be good. What worried me was his immaturity in it. I didn't know how grown he was in it, but coming into the league, he looks like he's handling things really well, and he looks like he's enjoying himself out there on the court, which is good to see, innit? See someone look like they're enjoying the game of basketball.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go with Julius Randle. I'll go with LaMelo. I think they've both been very nice surprises this year, to be honest with you. I didn't think I knew Julius had this in him, but to basically have carried the Knicks to where they are, they're like, what, 5th in the East? Yeah. Very good. Like, can't complain with that. And LaMelo as well.
Miami's just behind. And Miami's 6th. So I just have to say that. And LaMelo's Hornets is 7th.
Yeah, right.
So
Charlotte entertaining to watch as well. So, you know.
Yeah.
You called it LaMelo's Hornets.
Yeah. Because he was good come off the bench, but since he started, he's averaging like 20 points a game.
Yeah.
So
So you're not forgetting about Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier.
But
you know what? In the bits I've seen of Terry Rozier, he's looked good. Like, he's looked very good. But
even Hayward. But,
both of them.
I know this is off topic, but I just want to ask a question to both of you. Yeah, if you was in Bradley Beal's shoes, what would you do?
See, if you ask me this question at the start, definitely trade. I want to trade. But you know what? They look like they're turning things around, didn't it?
I would stay because from what I can see, they're a game and a half off the 10th seed, and that's a play-in. So because the East is so trash this year, you might as well just stay because a crap record will get you to the play-in at least. And in a one-off game, I wouldn't want to bet against Washington.
And I think that's their goal, is just to make playoffs this season. Yeah. It's not a team that was looking to win it all this year.
I don't think you want to be playing the Wizards in a one-off game because this is the same Wizards that have beaten LA and the Clippers recently. I mean, Lakers and the Clippers recently. So
yeah,
and they beat Brooklyn as well. So
and the Nets as well.
So yeah,
so
I would stay.
Yeah.
All right. You would stay.
Yeah. What would you do if you were Bradley Beal?
Pack my bags, man. Request a trade, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm God, fam. Think about he's dropped like the most 30 points or 30 plus points and still lost, bro. In the games that he's played, or I forgot how many games it was. I'd have to double check, but yeah, he's dropped that big numbers and he's still lost.
I think I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, and they're still in playoff contention. That's the main thing. So.
Yeah, they turned it around, didn't it? But
they've turned it around.
And then again, if you can say, I think it's that out of the last 10 times he scored 40 points, they've lost most of the games, in it. Like 70% of those games.
That has to be demoralizing, man.
It must be, but at the same time, though,
I couldn't, man. If I know if I know the team that I'm playing for, and I see like there's no what's the word I'm looking for? They're not making anything to try to make the environment better or like to make the team better. Sorry, then I'd have to leave. Man,
they've won 7 of their last 10.
Yeah, but
I mean that is okay. That's okay.
Maybe a month ago, I would have said, go. But like now, they're in
But
playoff
looking
contention.
forward,
Yeah.
looking
They've turned it
forward
around.
now, looking forward now, like next season, for example, is he still want to still be with the same group of guys?
Obviously, they're gonna have to make moves to keep
we
him.
have,
And what
entertaining,
happens
innit?
if they don't?
well, we have to take into account there's still
Then
other
maybe
half
he
of the
looks at
season to
leaving
go.
again, innit?
There's still another 36 games to go in it. A lot can happen between now and then. They could go on a mad one and be
True, that's true.
a top seed in the East, bro. Like it could happen. So I'm him. Just stay packed, and if this season goes down the toilet, then just request a trade.
But also, you got to look at if he goes to a request a trade and he goes to a contender, his role is going to be different, man.
Yeah, he's not going to be the man on the team.
40 points.
He's
40
not going
points
to
a
be the
game.
man on the team. He's going to be
Yeah, and he
at
won't
best the
be the
second
number
option.
one guy.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
best second option.
So you got to look. Does he want that? Is he ready for that adjustment?
If he came Miami, he'll be the number one guy. That's facts. No, but am I lying, Jay? You know that's facts, man.
He'll be the number one scoring option.
Yeah. He'll be the guy to score. That's all we need him to do.
But is Miami a contending team though?
The rest will come. Huh?
Is Miami a contending team?
I don't know.
Is that a team with Bradley? Is that a team with Bradley Beal? You think they won the championship or they be in the finals?
I'm not saying they will win the champ, but I will think if they had someone like Bradley Beal, then.
So then is that a situation that you think he'd want to go to?
Make some noise, huh?
But you think that's a situation he'd want to go to then? Somewhere where they can just make some noise. I don't know how enticing that. I don't know how enticing that would be for a minute.
Yeah, it's true.
So where would he want to go? Lakers?
I'm not saying.
No, I'm just asking, bro.
Well, just a contending team, whether that's Lakers.
Or would he go to? Would he go Brooklyn? Because not based on what you're saying, he probably wouldn't want to go to a team that just wants to make noise, yeah. So obviously, like Lakers are like, what, like
Lakers, yeah. I would say Lakers
front runners to win the title.
Clippers. Yeah, I don't think the Lakers are the front runners to win the title at this stage.
You don't think so?
Nah, man.
I'm just asking you, bro.
I don't. Until we sort this center situation out, I don't think we're the front runners to win this.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a moment. What's you guys' 3 biggest disappointments this season? Players or teams?
Marc Gasol being
fridge.
I would say Trez.
Oh, come on, man. Trez is feeling disappointment. How? That's a pure hate speech, man.
No. In all honesty, I agree with Marc Gasol, man. He just looks like one of them brothers, like, why am I here? Type of guy. You know what I'm trying to say?
I'm asking myself that same question, man. Like, why is
he looks like he's like, I could be playing overseas with my brother, but I'm just here to collect a ring and some extra money for my family, send back home and that.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Man.
Yeah, he's had a disappointing season. I was disappointed in his signing. I don't know why we signed him, but
one disappointment I've got is Atlanta Hawks. For all the signings they made in the offseason, I know some have been injured and whatnot. To be where they are, 11th in the East, I'm pretty sure they thought they would be a lot higher, and they've been poor this year.
But you can tell Rondo just went there for the bread, fam.
Well, you know what? At this stage in his career, I don't really blame him. He's won with the 2 biggest franchises in the league.
Yeah. So man don't care. Man's getting these little bread, fam. So
he's done that. You get me? He's Hall of Fame certified already now. Just get the rest of the money you can get in it. That's what he done.
You know who I was gonna say? I was gonna say Kelly Oubre was a one, but he's kind of
was a disappointment.
He kind of turned things around now. Because in the beginning, man missed dunks.
Yeah, he was struggling.
Man was he was just sort of next thing, but now he picked himself up. So good one, Kelly. Pat on your back, my boy.
And my other one would be Russell Westbrook.
Mm. I mean, I think he's already like the third in like triple doubles or something like that for the franchise, isn't it?
He's
So you
stat
know he's doing
padding,
his
man.
thing when it comes to
You
the stats,
see,
isn't it?
he's
So-
stat padding. Come on, man. Like, the,
Because
his play is, I know it's picked up recently, but I feel like he's on the decline now. And
yeah, I was gonna say he looks like he knows it's as a great guy would say, it's been a hell of a run type of guy. That's man's like, how long can I do this for, bro? Man's like,
yeah,
1 foot in and 1 foot out, bro. So
I
yeah,
think if you were to say at the start of the season
nah,
that you had a backcourt of Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook,
nah, man.
you would have thought, yeah, like we could
Yeah.
make this. I know they've been on a good run recently, but the start of the season was horrendous, man. And I've been
it was,
disappointed.
but Westbrook was supposedly he wasn't 100% in it, man. But now he's shaking off them injuries or whatever, man. I mean, bothering him. He's playing better, innit? My biggest concern with that team is that Bradley Beal and Westbrook's play styles were going to clash, but they haven't. Bradley Beal's still the leading scorer, and now the team's seeing some success in it. So I wouldn't write him off completely yet, innit? And he's still getting triple doubles, isn't it, man?
Stat pattern, bro. Stat pattern. Stat pattern. Any of you guys
Even on
got
the
any
side-
other disappointments?
Mm,
The Celtics, the Boston Celtics have been a bit disappointing, innit? But I give it to them; they've
You
been
know-
injury plagued. And
They
Kemba
have
Walker
picked it up, you
has
know.
been
They
Kemba
have.
Walker. Yeah, he's been playing better, but Kemba Walker has been was a big disappointment at the start of the season, man. He was not playing like an all-star caliber guard. I'm glad that they're turning it around. They're really missing Marcus Smart right now. He's a big key to he's the heart and soul of that team, in my opinion. And it shows, man, they're missing him. But I expect that team to be better.
I've got one more, yeah. And it's in general. I think the Eastern Conference is
Yeah.
just a big disappointment. Full stop. Like, I don't wanna shit on any teams, but like I know they've picked up recently, but like certain teams like Boston, I know Miami have had their struggles this
Yeah.
year. Like the good teams that you thought would be there, I know they've picked up recently, but it took their time, innit? And for me, if you like, there's only 5 teams in the East that got a winning record.
yeah.
Bro, Washington are a game and a half outside a playing game, and look how bad they've been this year. Like the standard in the East has dropped. Because last year was a lot better, a bit more competitive. But this year, maybe it'll pick up in the second half of the season. But so far, I'm not happy with what I've seen, to be honest.
I think when it comes to competition, we've always known the Western Conference is where it's at, innit? It's stacked there. Any one of them teams can make the playoffs, innit? And in the East, so it would be interesting if the league did change the way the playoffs worked and it was just the top 16 teams record-wise that made the NBA. That would be interesting because there'd be a lot of teams in the East left out of it. But I don't know if they will make that change because of money-wise and, giving fans from different areas the opportunities to come see the games, innit? So, yeah, that would have been interesting.
All right. Cool. So now what we're going to do, we're going to review each of our team seasons so far. We're gonna analyze each of our teams as well. We're gonna break down what we've been impressed with, what we've been disappointed with, and what's the expectations for the rest of the season. So we're gonna do it by record, yeah. So because a certain team out in California that play the Staples have the best record out of all the teams we support, we're gonna start with the Los Angeles Lakers. And Dopes, talk us through the Lakers season so far. What you've been impressed with, what you've been disappointed with.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with what I've been disappointed with. Innit? I've been disappointed with the off-season moves. I'm not I'm not happy that we let our 2 paint protectors go. These guys were certified paint protectors and they had an intimidation factor in the paint, innit? I'm talking about losing Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. I was sad to see them go. Even though they were older, they were still athletic and they were still intimidating inside. we signed Mark Gasol, who he looks like he's one of them players. I've had a hell of a ride cat
The
players. It's time to
fridge.
shut it down, innit? Yeah. So for me,
Where's it? They tried. They thought they were getting the 2013 mark.
yeah, that hurt, man. That hurt. And to get him, we got rid of JaVale McGee to get him in it. So that hurt. Yeah, I would have rather had JaVale right now. Injuries, obviously, we had a big injury, man, to, the second best player on the team. AD, that's putting a lot more strain on the team as it is right now, and things ain't perfect. If we had that paint protecting center,
Are you worried? Are you worried about the AD injury?
I'm not worried about the AD injury. I think he'll come back in time. I'm more worried about finding this starting center replacement, because that's definitely going to be big. Because if not, it means when it comes to the playoffs and we're playing guys like the Joker, AD is going to have to step up and guard him, and that puts him in unnecessary foul trouble, which worries me because he's a big part of our offense as well. Trez provides big energy off the bench in it, but he's not there to lock down somebody in it. You know what I mean? So I don't really want to see Trez in that starting position either. Innit? I like him doing his thing off the bench, and it makes our bench that more scary and gives us depth. But that starting center position is something that we need to fill as soon as possible. Innit? We signed Damian Jones to a 10-day contract. He's got athletic potential in it, but he's not a win now player. So
would you go for Blake?
Why sign him?
Would I go for Blake? If AD is happy with it, because AD would have to play center. And he's said in the past he don't really like playing center, even though he did do it
Why sign Damian Jones?
Why did we sign him?
Yeah.
To try out for a new center position, innit? That's what we need, innit? He started against the Kings for us.
We
had a terrible game.
Not a win. He's not a win now. He's not a win now guy.
Yeah, no, he's not a piece that you add to a team and you think, right, this makes us a tough contender. Blake Griffin,
I'm just a bit confused to why they signed him. I'm a bit confused to why they signed him.
To help the record.
Win now guy.
If he's not a win now, we're testing out centers in. We didn't sign him. We signed him a 10-day contract in it, so it's literally just a trial. I think that's expiring now anyway. We might sign him for another 10-day contract until the buyout. All the buyouts have been done and the trade deadline and whatnot. So yes, we struggled in it, but what I have been happy with is what LeBron's doing in it. He's been doing his thing. I think he's third in minutes, so he's not a guy that's been resting. He's been putting in the work and trying his best to make sure we got a respectable record heading into the playoffs.
Didn't he drop 38 against Phoenix and still lost?
As I said, he's been doing his thing, innit? You understand? It's not like he's taking a back seat and thinking, you know what, we're in playoffs, we're safe, I can just rest and take it easy. He's third in the league in minutes, innit?
Their record,
only 2 players in the league are playing more minutes a game than LeBron James.
Their record at the moment is 24-13 now. Are you worried that Lakers might potentially drop down the standings?
I am, because I don't want to face certain teams in the first round, innit? I just don't want to face the Clippers in the first round or anything like that. I'm not worried about us making playoffs. We'll get there, but it's what we can do when we're there, innit? And if we get those pieces, I don't think we'll be worried. I think to get Drummond, even though it's very unlikely, if you were to get a player like Drummond, I think that would make us the certified favourites. But a lot of teams are going to be after them.
What happens if you've got Hassan Whiteside? What happens if you've got Hassan Whiteside? Will you still be the favourites? Or is it you just need Drummond to be the favourites?
I think giving a player like Drummond will be the favourites. Whiteside, he's a certified rim protector as well, so that could work. We'd be one of the top 3 favourites. We've got Whiteside.
So what was that? What was the purpose of the Lakers signing or going for Marc Gasol?
I think they thought he was still an amazing defensive player somehow. Innit? I would have rather signed Serge Ibaka, but we didn't have the money for that. And
that's what I thought. Like they would have gone for Ibaka, not Gasol. Like what the hell? Like
it was a money thing. We couldn't afford him, innit?
Yeah, because you signed Trez. But anyway, we move.
I'd rather have Trez than him as well. But I think we went off our name and our power of the franchise of LA. We was able to entice a former Laker, Marc Gasol, to come back to us, innit, for the cheap. So that's what we went for.
Okay.
We don't have the biggest budget to work with at the
Marc
moment.
Marc Gasol came to they signed him as a rim protector, right? Or was it they signed him so he could just pass?
Both. He's someone that's a high IQ who can move the ball, but he's also supposedly a certified defensive player, isn't it? He's just a bit too slow now.
So
man.
so what I'm saying is, so they signed Marc Gasol, yeah, and with signing Marc Gasol, that means the Lakers should be the Lakers are like number one, right? They'll be like the top team to win, the front runners to win, right? No, I'm just asking. I'm just asking a question.
In my opinion, I'll question that signing from when it happened. And obviously, the way he's played this season.
So what is the difference? What is the difference if the Lakers went and got Hassan Whiteside?
Hassan Whiteside is a player that's currently playing better than Marc Gasol.
But so if they don't get Whiteside, but if they got Drummond, that means Lakers will be the front runners, correct?
100%.
So why couldn't, if they sign Whiteside, why can't they be front runners to win the championship? I'm just asking.
Obviously, we want to talk about Hassan Whiteside. We know his stat wise, he's a good player in it, but we talk about things like ego and all of these things, and that's got him to trouble in previous teams, isn't it? So if he comes correct, he slots nicely into the system.
I'm saying. So obviously, the purpose of getting Drummond is for rim protection, correct?
And rebounds, isn't it? And we know he's one of the best.
So Hassan Whiteside can do that, no?
So you're saying Hassan Whiteside is just as good as Andre Drummond, in your opinion?
I never said that. I'm just asking, bro. I never said that. I'm just asking.
Well, then there you go, then, isn't it? If they were the same,
I'm just asking.
But no, Hassan Whiteside is not the same level as Andre Drummond, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I hear
that. I'm happy we re-signed Kuzma as well. That's a big deal. And even if he's not around forever, now that we signed him for 40 mil, it makes him a bit more tradable, innit? Because in the past, that's your opinion, innit? But even if we was to trade him in the past, we can get signed back of equal value because we weren't paying him enough, innit? So now he's signed to a 40 mil deal.
If they trade Kuz, who are you getting?
What do you mean? Who am I getting?
Who would you trade Kuzma for?
I wouldn't trade him right now, but if a deal was
to come out, if you had to trade, if you let's say you have to trade him, yeah, who would you trade him for?
It's tough, man. I haven't even thought about someone else that can do what he does, innit? Another versatile wing that can.
Kuzma's not that bad, you know.
He's not really.
Kuzma's not that bad. He's a good player, and he's on a tradable contract, isn't it? So
yeah, now he's on a tradable contract.
Yeah, so
I heard that, but I'm saying, who would you trade him for?
A solid piece
in this current market. Nobody, innit? But
a solid piece eventually. Probably not this year.
Get us a solid piece. Yeah.
Okay.
What's your expectations for the rest of the season?
I expect us to fill this void, sign a decent big man, and make the finals.
If you don't sign a decent big man, what's your expectations for the season?
If we don't get that big that we need, I wouldn't put it against us to come out in the second round of the playoffs.
Whoa.
Whoa.
We know the West is that tough, innit? I'm not saying it's over and without it we can't win, but it makes it a lot harder, innit? And the way the West is looking this year.
Who are you worried about in the West?
I'm worried about the Clippers, because that's one team that's just built to beat us. I'm worried about the Nuggets because of what Joker can do, and with our best guy on him, we don't really want our best guy on him to pick up fouls and whatnot. So those are my two biggest concerns in the West.
Okay. You okay? What's your thoughts on the Lakers so far this season?
Yeah, they're all right, man. They're just cruising at the moment, isn't it? Just cruising at the moment. That's it. I haven't really watched the Lakers like that to give a justified assessment. So, but yeah, from what I've been reading so far, they're doing all right, man. But I would say only thing I can say is because they've lost a few games since AD's been injured, right?
Yeah, they've lost 7 of the last 10.
Okay, so that means it's just my opinion. You don't have to prove it. In my opinion, I think that means LeBron's ratings for MVP kind of takes a hit. It's just my opinion.
That's a fair assessment. It's a fair assessment.
And apart from that, yeah, like obviously, you know, I'm not saying I don't like Kuzma, but I think the Lakers should have traded him a long time ago. He's had enough time to show that what he's capable of, and yeah, he hasn't really done anything.
I have to disagree, man. I think
from what I've seen in it. Yeah,
from the start, I think he's shown what he's capable.
What did I say? It's my opinion.
It's your opinion.
My opinion. You don't have to agree what I'm saying.
Allow me to educate you on this topic, innit? Yeah. If from his rookie year, man scored 18 points a game, innit? If he was on a different team right now, his stats would look a lot different, innit? He'd be getting more shots, more opportunities, innit? With this team and it's built, you don't have those opportunities, innit? So what he's managed to do within this system, in my opinion, is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I hear you, and yeah, that's your opinion, and my opinion, I'm gonna stand by my opinion.
Don't change it next week. Don't change it next week, though.
So best case scenario.
You've never had me rate.
So I'll go back to you though. So best case scenario.
What do you say, Dre?
Well, best case scenario without signing a big man with this current team. What are we saying? Finals, championship, out second round.
Not a championship, man.
The best case scenario about a big man.
I think they'll probably they get slapped up in the second round.
The best case scenario is that we don't face those teams I mentioned before, and we make it to the finals. I think we can handle other teams, but those two teams will be a problem for us. So best case scenario,
Utah, man.
I wouldn't be worried about Utah either.
I think they're this year's version of Atlanta Hawks. I need to see more from Utah. They got knocked out. They had a 3-1 lead against Denver last year as well. Need to remember that. So it's whatever with Utah, to be honest. I think Lakers need to be careful that they don't fall down the standings dramatically. Like, it's very tight in the West at the moment, and like Denver have picked up form. They could, if they don't pick it up soon, they could easily drop into that little play-in situation. And I don't think the Lakers want to have that risk of losing a one-off game and then going home before the playoffs even start, innit? So I think they should be a bit worried, but home court advantage and whatnot, I don't think it even worries the Lakers at all. Because they're a championship caliber team. I think they know and believe that they can win anywhere. And I don't think there's any team probably other than the Clippers and maybe the Nuggets that actually believe that they can beat the Lakers in it. And in terms of playoff experience as well, Utah ain't been to them depths of a second round of the playoffs or a conference finals, where if Utah keep this up, they're gonna go in with the expectation where they're expected to win. And can they handle that pressure?
Yeah, well, they have Mike Conley. I swear he's been to the finals before, no, with Memphis. Or he's
conference finals, and they got swept.
Yeah.
And they got swept by the Spurs.
Yeah, but 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 yeah, he's been there, so he has experience. So
the rest don't. That's the thing. Like, the rest don't. But yeah, I think the Lakers just need to be a bit careful. But I think I'm expecting them to make the finals, and they just pray they don't play Brooklyn in it. I think Lakers defense will get them to the finals because they're the best defensive team in the league. So, okay. Next team with the second, well, we've got the better record. San Antonio Spurs, 18-14 in the West. Pleasantly surprised with how they've done this season. All I can say is that I'm gassed. Hopefully we make the playoffs. Hopefully we make the playoffs. I've been impressed with DeMar DeRozan. A year ago, Kay knows I hate this guy. I think he's overrated and trash, but this season he has stepped up. He's been a great leader for the young guys we've got, like Keldon Johnson, DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker the fourth. Like, he's been superb. Like, and if we didn't have those 4 games off through that whole COVID madness, we'd be higher in the West as well. Like, only thing I'm disappointed with is LaMarcus Aldridge. I'm praying that a team takes him. He's done out here now. He's averaging like 12 points a game now. He's done. He's absolutely done out here. Like, but other than that, thoroughly impressed with the Spurs. Only thing I'm worried with is that there's too many close games that we're winning. Those close games could turn into defeats, innit? But other than that, like, a week ago.
So what's your goal for this season?
Make the playoffs.
You be happy with just making playoffs? Yeah.
I don't think. Well, I don't know if we'll make the playoffs in it because the West is very tight. But goal was to make the playoffs. I'd have a competitive first round. I don't think, depending on who we play, like, I don't know if we could beat Utah. Phoenix, because inexperience, could possibly beat them. Lakers, no. Clippers, who knows, because they like to choke. Clippers like to clip, as someone I heard say the other day. The Clippers clipping it. So, and Portland.
You don't know what Paul George is coming.
Exactly. You don't know if you're getting playoff P or pandemic P in it. So, who knows? But like, I don't want Denver. Portland, I'm not really worried about because they just make the playoffs in it. But other than that, like, make the playoffs and have a competitive first round, and I'll be happy. Build for next season, because next season, if all the veterans go, we've got 55 million in cap space, so we can fill out the team with decent players, isn't it?
That's a lot of money, but you got to look at the market and who want to come and live in San Antonio, Texas, isn't it? It's not attractive to vast majority.
Would you not want to play with Pop?
You know why the man they're talking like that, because they got LeBron and that, and all of that stuff. So, you get me, when Laker was not relevant, bro, you never heard man talking in that. But we'll give man that. We hear that. But yeah, sorry Jay,
I would try and keep DeRozan, but sign him to less money. Everyone else other than Patty Mills can go. LA can go.
Even Murray?
Who? Murray? He signed a contract extension last year, so we signed him to a team-friendly deal.
Fair. That's big. Yeah, DeMar DeRozan taking these steps and shooting the ball is a big deal, man, because that's like in the past. He clearly known that's one of the weaknesses.
Hitting threes. I think his career high in assists. I think he's averaging 7.8 a game. He's been good. He should be an all-star. Just saying that again.
That's big, man. Again, it's because of the market, I'd say as well. Being in San Antonio, they don't get as much attention as maybe they should deserve. It's one of them years, isn't it? He's been an all-star before. A lot of people do think he's overrated still. it's sad to see his career go this way, but I'm glad that he hasn't lost more motivation in it.
I think because of everything LeBron done to Toronto, he's tarnished with that.
Mm.
And I think because Kyle Lowry's won a championship, he's not tarnished with that no more.
He's not tarnished with that no more.
But DeRozan's tarnished with that. I think if DeRozan played in the NBA 15 years ago in the mid-noughties, they'd be loving him. But I think it's because it's such a three-point league now, and the way he plays is very noughties basketball. That's why he's not respected as much as he should be.
I agree. And because of his player performances though as well, innit? It's like, then his numbers go down, innit? So even if he did make playoffs, who knows what you're gonna get from him, innit?
That's true. True.
He's a talented guy, man, and what he done for the city of Toronto, he's leading them in all sorts of stats, innit, man? So he's forever gonna be remembered.
Yeah,
in Toronto.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
So what you been disappointed about this season?
Marcus Aldridge, man.
That's the only one
dropped off a cliff. Like he was averaging 20. He's been averaging 20.
He was a disappointment when he first walked through the door, but yeah.
Like the season when Kawhi was injured for like 69 games or whatever, he carried us a lot that season, didn't it? But since then, it's slowly declined. And this season, like he's on the bench now. Like he don't even start for us anymore. Like this has got to be his last season in San Antonio. Apparently, I heard he wants to either retire in Portland or San Antonio. Portland can take him. Thanks.
And I don't think Portland should take him back, man.
I think the last game I saw him play well. I think it was against the Lakers, I believe, this season. Yeah, it was the Lakers. Yeah.
I think he's another one that's been underrated throughout his career. I think if he
100%, but I feel like his peak was like when he just left Portland. That was when he was at his best. He had young up and coming Damian Lillard, but he didn't want to stay there. He wanted to go somewhere else and play for a contender.
You know what? I wouldn't take him
back.
I said this to Jay so many times. I think him going to San Antonio, yeah, I get it, but I think when you go to certain teams and that, I think maybe it just got too big for him. That's what I think personally, anyway. That's just that's what I think, man. I don't think he could handle that pressure, man. Because San Antonio's just been a great club ever since. Well, from when Pop's there. So I don't think he could handle that pressure, man. It's like different, man. You get me? Some people can't handle that. Like, you know, who knows if Paul George went to Lakers, could he handle playing with LeBron? That pressure of like, you have to win. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? I don't think he could. So, but yeah, you know.
I think he saw himself becoming the next big star there with the Asian stars of San Antonio on the decline. He thought he'd be the next.
I don't think the style of play fitted Marcus originally. And when he came, it was like the last year of Duncan, and it was still Parker and Ginobili, and we were like trying to phase them out and bring through Kawhi. And Kawhi and LaMarcus were meant to be the next two to hold down the franchise for the next like 5, 6, 7 years, isn't it? So when Kawhi left, and it left it on his shoulders. So it hasn't really worked out for him too tough. He has been good though for us, but he hasn't really worked out for him.
I just think if he stayed in Portland, he might have made a finals, man.
I don't know about that, but I think
you don't think him.
I don't think so.
If he stayed in Portland, you don't think him, Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum could have made a finals?
What, through the Golden State era? No, hell no. Hell no.
If they've come close, man, and Dame puts up his best games against the Warriors, isn't it? But he ain't even had no help. His injuries and whatnot. That's why I wouldn't even count him out this year. That's a dark horse team this year, man. And what he's been doing without CJ and without Nurkic has been big, man.
I don't see Portland are just a playoff team. Like Portland are just a playoff team. I don't see them ever being a threat in the West. Like, here's another thing, yeah. isn't it? Maybe this could be a topic for another episode, but I don't want to touch on it too much. But with Dame Lillard, yeah, there's never been a series where you can say that was Dame Lillard's series. It's always it's always last second shots that you know him for. Do you get you get what I'm saying? Like, they're just a good playoff team. Like, you know, they're gonna have a good regular season, make the playoffs, probably come out the first, go through the first round, and knock out in the second round. There's never been a contender in the West, and I don't think they ever will be.
Yeah.
They're just a solid playoff team.
Okay, we'll save that one in it. We'll save that one in it.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the East.
Yeah.
It started off sloppy.
Yeah, man.
But they're 18 and 18.
My Nets is doing good, man.
Oh, shut up, man. They're 6th in the East. The Miami Heat. Kate, take us away. Your time. What you been happy with? What you been disappointed with?
I'm happy that they're 6. Man, I think again, as Dope said, man, letting Crowder go was a big loss for us. Obviously, COVID again. Like, Bradley's been hit with the COVID stuff.
How many games has Bradley
What's
played?
the other guy's name? Is it Harkless? I've seen him. I saw him play one game. I think it was time ago. I think against the Knicks. I think, and then the next game, my man had to sit out because of COVID and that. So it was. I haven't seen him play as much. Harkless, I see him play one game and then man's injured again. So, you know, them bringing in Bradley's cool. I'm not sure about Harkless. I think they tried to bring in Harkless as a replacement for Derek Jones Jr., but I don't think Harkless is a great fit for us. It's been a lot. For me, it's been like a lot of cons than pros, man. Obviously, injuries. Drakic has been injured. That's like our best player. Again, as I've said before, Jimmy Butler's been okay-ish. Bam's been all right. I think Bam's injured. But again, I'm just happy that we're in the playoff. And I think the most important thing is just to make the playoffs, man. We don't want to be that team that went to the finals and they couldn't even make the playoffs again. That would have been a mad thing. But yeah, that's about it. That's about it, really. Nothing else. I think Miami just needs to make a good trade. I don't know who they're looking to get, but we definitely need a big man. If we could get Drummond, I'll take him. I wouldn't take Griffin. But yeah. Well, if we can get Bill, I'd love us to get Bill.
So with Drummond, would you play him off the bench? Or would you make Bam power forward?
Yeah, I'll make him start and then let Bam play at the 4.
Yeah.
So if
That'd be a big move.
if Miami make the playoffs, how far do you think they can go?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, you know what? Again, as I said before, the last season, I was thinking they would have made it to the second round anyway. I didn't expect them to make it that far. So I'm gonna go with the same answer. If they make the second round, that's great. If they go beyond the second round, that's fantastic. So yeah, that's it. We're just a team just trying to make the playoffs, man. That's how I view Miami. If we had like a good squad, then I could say, yeah, I'll probably say make the conference final and that, but I'll just say the second round.
I think that's a fair analysis. It's realistic, and it's an achievable goal on it. I think they're capable of making the second round playoffs. Any further than that, though, I'm not sure this year, man. But again, no one was expecting it last year, innit? So I'm hoping that they can pull something out the bag and entertain us like they did last year, innit?
It's true. What I'm saying is that for a team to make the finals, and if they could never make the playoffs like this season, it would have been like, yo, that's just a fluke thing or whatever.
A
You
fluke.
get what I'm trying to say? But I just think Miami just need to make sure they make the playoffs. If we can finish, if we can get 5th seed, it's cool.
I think Miami had a disappointing start. They've picked it up, but I feel like you're selling Miami short. I feel like no one in the East would want to play Miami in the playoffs. Nobody. I feel like they're a bad matchup for every team except probably Philly. Unless Miami can get a big man. I mean, if they got a big man that could possibly not stop Embiid, but like slow him down, I don't think you want to be playing Miami. Like,
because I feel like if Miami was to get Drummond, for example, he can help Bam in a sense of where Bam would mark all the best players in that. So I think we can't expect Bam to mark everybody and then Manchester still like get us buckets as well. That's a lot. So if we get Drummond, I'll take him. Again, I think as I said before,
What about
Miami,
Hassan Whiteside? If you could get Hassan Whiteside, I think that would change things for you.
He's not a Heat player as you. He's not a Heat type of player as you guys see. You get me? So he's not that type of player.
He doesn't do it the Riley way.
He don't fit in the Heat plans. If he did, then he will still be at Miami. But unfortunately, he's not. So yeah. And two, we definitely need someone that can score points, just get us buckets. And I feel that if we got Bill, I think Miami could make some noise.
But I mean, you got Tyler Hero.
Yeah, he's all right.
I wouldn't be surprised because I've heard rumors in the past. I wouldn't be, and I'm being dead serious here. I wouldn't be surprised if Miami go for DeMar DeRozan.
I don't really want him there, but you know, that's just my opinion. I don't want him there, but yeah,
Expiring contract, a scorer,
man.
give you 20 points a game.
Nah, man.
Not selfish.
San Antonio needs him, man. He's a good fit at San Antonio, bro.
Yeah, but I feel like second half of the season, I think Miami, I feel like they've suffered most from being in the bubble, innit? Like they didn't really have a preseason, so they've taken their time to get ready, adjust to the season. They've picked it up now. I think they'll kick on now. I think they will be top 4 in the East. And I don't think no one wants to be playing Miami, bro. Because matchup
tough team to go up against in the first round.
Like Milwaukee don't want to see Miami again, fam. I don't even Boston.
Milwaukee though,
it's virtually the same. It's not different. It's virtually the same. You know what to do with Milwaukee. Just build a wall.
I think they know what to do with Giannis, innit? And the thing is how much help you can get in it. Chris Middleton tried, but clearly it wasn't enough, innit? With Drew Holiday now.
Nah, like they need a genuine
adds a different depth
star.
to them.
Like they need a genuine second star that they opposing teams are afraid of, innit? Like Milwaukee don't have that. And unless Giannis develops a jump shot between now and whenever the playoffs start, April or whatever, or May, then they're not making the finals, and that Budenholzer guy should get fired anyway because of the crap he's been doing in Milwaukee. They don't make the finals this year, he's gone. So
yeah, I agree. So
I mean, but Miami are like, unless they play Brooklyn, then I would expect them to make the conference finals. I had them making the conference finals last year.
Conference finals.
I had them making the conference finals last year. You can ask our friend of the show, our main nameless. I said it to him. I said they would make the conference finals and they would lose to Boston, but somehow they beat Boston.
Why is Dope saying like that?
Yeah.
I'm just surprised at that. The estimation.
I had Miami making the conference finals. I've even said it to UK. I said they would make the conference finals last year.
Yeah.
And
if they play if the Lakers make the final, I think Kuzma's going to be Finals MVP.
The hate, man. I don't know what it is you hate about this city, man. Colours, I don't know.
Boy.
No, but
But that's happens when
going
you're on
back to
top, innit?
what
When you're
Jay's
on,
saying is if going back to what Jay's saying, he is right. He did call that. But when Jay said it, I was just like, all I just thought about, they just make it past the second round, and that was it. Like I said, I didn't expect them to to sweep Indiana. Then we beat the Bucks like that. I thought the Bucks would have. I thought that would have gone to 7 games, and even with the Boston game, I didn't expect that to happen either. So you know, it's
What we need to remember with the playoffs, yeah, especially if there's going to be no fans, that there's no home court advantage. So basically, it's down to the best players and the best coaches, isn't it? And with Miami, they've probably got one of the top 3 coaches in the league, this Spoelstra. So he can probably outcoach definitely Budenholzer, probably what's his name in Philly, Doc Rivers. And who knows, he might even outcoach what's his name, Steve Nash in Brooklyn. And plus Miami have that experience now of going to the finals and knowing that if it gets a bit peak, they can dig deep. Jimmy Butler dig deep in the finals. So I don't think anyone wants to be playing Miami if they make the playoffs. That's honestly. So I say get it right between now and May when the playoffs start, and I think Miami will be okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So now we're almost done. So we're on to dubs and duds of the week, winners and losers. Who's you guys winners of the week?
Winners of the week for me, that's Mike Conley for finally getting into an All-Star game. He's been an underrated PG for a long time. He got there was a point where he had the biggest contract in the league. Big up to him for that as well, and never making an All-Star game at that point. But now he's the starting point guard for the team with the best record in the league, and he's in the All-Star game. So he's a dub for me.
I've got the NBA in general, just for me getting it to the halfway point. They haven't had to stop the season. I know there's been a lot of cancellation, but everyone's pretty much played 36 games. I've got to give it to the NBA for getting to the halfway point so far. God, I didn't think the NBA would. I thought we'd get locked off at some point, but we've got here. So well done to the NBA. Who's your dub of the week, eh?
That's a good. I'd say Miami, innit? I have to say Miami, man. You know, just I'm proud of the team, man. Especially for Jimmy B as well, because he's played well since he's come back from his injury. I think he got a triple-double one game, I believe. But yeah, I'll say Miami. That's for me.
Cool. And who's your duds of the week?
Duds of the week, man. It's not really a dud, innit? But even so, that Mike Conley's replacing Devin Booker, this was his first time being an All-Star. Would have been nice to see him actually playing the game as well, because he's another player who's deserving of it. He's been awarded it, which is nice, but I would have liked to see him suit up and play in that game, innit? But we know he's got a bright future, and we should see him there again in years to come.
My dud of the week is the NBA referees for these stupid technicals they're giving players. Like, the two they gave Devin Booker the other day, and who's the one they called for and one? Like, they need to relax. They need to relax. They need to calm down. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Who's your dud of the week, Kate?
I would say Lakers.
And why is that, Kate?
losing games they should have won still. That's it.
Fair point.
Okay.
Fair point. Before we go, oh, this guy's just such a troller, bro. So before we go, who you got for All-Star game? Team LeBron or Team KD?
Team LeBron all the way, man.
Of course.
We say K. We say K. Team
So-
Kuzma. Yeah.
You must be voting for Team KD, right?
Yeah, I'll say Team KD, but I know they're gonna lose. But
Do you
I'll
mean-
stick with
do you
Team
mean
KD still.
Team Kuzma playing as well, fam. Do you think they're gonna win?
Yeah, Team KD. I know they're gonna lose, but I'm sticking with Team KD still. Hopefully, Kawhi can carry them over the line.
I'm going with Team LeBron. That starting five is some madness, and I don't know how hard some of them players are gonna actually play. To be honest, but I feel like some of them, that Team LeBron teams, that's a massive lean, literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, then, folks, that wraps it up for this episode of Free in the Key. We'll be back next week. Want to say anything before we go, people?
Have a good
Just
week.
stay
I hope
safe.
everyone's blessed. Stay blessed. Stay
Yeah,
safe.
Have a good
Cool.
week. Stay safe.
All
Big up Kuzma every time.
right, people, stay safe and stay away from the feds. We're out. Cool. Peace.